Alright, so we got a new Nightwave. Uh, well, just Volume 6, or Daybreak. They might as well have called it. That's the theme of this, is your sunrise, or looks a little more like sunset on a lot of the skins. I don't know if there's anything down here to really comment on right now. I think it's mostly repeats, nothing overly new. There are a couple of new things in this, but I haven't really looked at them. You got your credits. You take your credits, you buy the stuff in here, whichever thing you want. If you're a newbie, these seem nice. They're kind of a trap. There's usually auras you can buy, like physique down here, that you could trade for platinum. More platinum than spending the same amount would get you a catalyst. Then you buy the catalyst with platinum. I don't know if there's particularly good aura for that this week. Physique's got some popularity because Daenerys uses it for his power strength on his fourth. I'm trying to see. Dizzying round, you might be able to trade out to some folks. Though they did fix this, it doesn't work on things it's not supposed to anymore. That might be good on Latron and Cardin. I'm not sure. I don't use that weapon specifically. Other than that, if you're a new player, just go for your auras. If you don't have an aura, you always want an aura because it gives you more Warframe capacity. As long as that symbol the polarity matches. So either of these could actually go. Like if you do not have one, get a aura. This is also always nice, particularly in syndicate missions. Enemy radar, not so much. If you're not a newbie, just go wild, grab your cosmetics, grab weapons that you haven't mastered. Almost none of the weapons in the Nightwave shop are particularly meta. They're mostly mastery fodder, or they have better versions. Vauban is also in here. If you're looking to get Vauban regular and you don't have access to Vauban Prime, or you're trying to put him in the wall, because his helmet, Tesla Nervos, is a decent with its augment for spreading damage around. There's also always Nightane. You're always going to stumble across something you need Nightane for. And Niall's Oubliette, which is required to get the weapon called Vitrica, which is a great sword that can turn enemies to glass. It sounds cooler than it practically is, but half a Warframe is doing stuff that looks cool rather than being practical, depending who you ask. Getting out of the shop here, though. We got the glaive. It's a glaive skin. Doesn't look like it has the spines. Maybe they only come out when you throw it. Okay, I guess the other thing was a idle animation. The Vanquish banner, which is a Grenier flag. This one's been redecorated though, so it has the sunrise stuff on it. Adapters and catalysts, always good. Maybe if you're a core person, you like it. I don't know. Glyphs feel kind of iffy as a Nightwave reward. Single glyph. We got the Bully and Sugatra. If you don't know what Sugatrith is, it's a little thing that hangs off your weapon like that down at the bottom. I'm spazzing my cursor around it. That's one of the better looking ones, or more noticeable looking ones. Most of them you can hardly tell. Slots. Everyone wants slots. Always take slots if they're offered. We got a... If you want a sunrise cat, you can get a sunrise cat. It also will unlock these colors for your cats and your Kubros and your helmets, chargers. So that will never hurts just to have the colors, even if you don't like the pattern. Forma, everyone loves it. Cedo. Not the biggest fan of the skins that got like these little patterns on them. I don't really go for that on my weapons most of the time, but it's there if you want it. Warframe slot, everyone loves it. This is for the Sobex. Magazine has reload for your magazine gets stash chance and multi-shot increased by 50% per shot landed with current magazine max 15 stacks.
And we're out.
Let's go have a look at a Sobek here. It's also a Kuba Sobek, but I don't have that yet. Okay, so you can get all 15 relatively easily, especially if multi-shot counts. It's already got status chance, so I'm not sure how much you're actually going to get out of that, because diminishing returns when you mix too much of the same thing, but possibly it would let you maybe swap out like some 60-60 mods for more straight up damage.
Covered in blood.
Shall we?
Transmission, I mean, if you're a fan of my fashion, I'm always using the blues and purples. The ones I use tend to be on, I think it's the Eminence palette from Barrow, but there's probably some duplicates here. And it's a generally harmonious color palette. You got your not complementary, I think it is just called Harmony. Cyan, blue, purple. So this purple gets a little too pale. Like it's a very pale purple compared to the dark blue. Arcane Strike, you hit things faster most of the time. Once it gets going, it'll basically end up being permanent because you'll be hitting things so much that that 15% will always go off. It's got its uses. I think before Arcane Reaper, I used to use it on my Excalibur a lot. Got a new core skin, stance forma. There's one weapon in the game that you might consider this on, which is the Dark Dagger, which changes between dual swords. Or no, dark sword, dual dark sword, dark split sword. That's the one. Changes between dual swords or a heavy blade or a staff or something based on its stance if you want to have both setups. It's one of those Equinox cases where most people are going to build one way or the other, even though you can switch. You also can't switch in the mission with the split sword. You have to actually change the mods. For the most part, though, you want one stance on a weapon, and you're probably not going to want to be flipping, flopping, having it in and out for different loadouts. There's not a lot of cause for that. That said, a free stance forma means that you can not use a regular forma to form a stance slot if you need to. So it's a free universal polarity slot on a weapon of your choice. It's the best way to look at it. We got the Sunshiny Dog here. He has less notice he has one less color than the cat version. Nonetheless, if you like the pattern, you like the pattern. If you get the colors for all your cats and dogs anyways. Iatan sculptures. I believe these are very tradable to people who just want endo, or you can use them for decoration, or you can use them for endo yourself. I quite often find that it's not that hard to farm a lot of endo myself, so I end up selling most of my sculptures to other people for platinum. This one, Glaxian, critical damage, and enemies would have a up to 20% chance to drop an energy orb, depending how much cold status is on them. Kind of helps out Frost with his ability to dump just shitloads of cold on everything. Also, if the enemy stays alive long enough for you to get all the cold procs on them before the Glaxian kills them, I guess it will work by itself. You can also give other frames the Ice Wave Augment. And critical damage on a Galaxian. It's very off the cuff here. It's nothing to write home about. The Cuba Galaxian might have higher. But yeah, that's not your best critical chance, and that's just a very baseline critical multiplier, so you're not multiplying or triggering a whole lot with that critical damage. You'd have to probably want to force it with something like Arcane Avenger if you were going to build around that, or Harrow, but Harrow does not need enemies to drop more energy. Aura Forma, very similar to Stance Forma, except there's more cases for Warframes that you might want to have different loadouts with different aura polarities, but nonetheless, it's a free way to forma your aura slot when they give you one for free. Making them, I don't generally recommend. It's highly expensive in investment. Pearlescent Shoulder Guard. This seems like it'd be great to go with fashion, but there's so little other stuff that goes with it in the game. It is a shoulder piece. I believe there's a bandana that goes with it. We can have a quick look at that.
To say good night.
It was in my Sevagoth fashion. We'll just go up here. This is, despite the name, my kind of messing around slot. Sevagoth fashion. So yeah, we got the proto-Simid there. What's that Sindana that kind of goes with it, specifically? Yeah, like, you can start trying to chain this kind of stuff together for a look, but there's not a huge amount of stuff that goes with it. With that arrows and bones look, there's no corresponding armor I found. If you know good other armor to match with it, feel free to drop it in the comments.
Otis finds it odd that humans only get a few years to live, yet spend most of that time
Doing everything wrong.
learning how to live.
Okay, I was wearing something like 10 seconds ago. Oh, it's... okay, I thought it was called Day of the Dead Vanquished banner. Anyways.
Yo.
Exos adapter again, and everything that's... I don't usually build them. I trade for platinum and buy Exos adapters if I need to, but I'll never turn down a free one. Oh, we've lost our place. We were up here, yes. An emote. I mean, sure, there's probably other frames this would look better on. When's the Equinox rework so we can actually use Equinox in both forms and maybe catch her up a little bit to some of the newer frames? That would use a lot of this style. Umbra Forma, win-win, goes without saying. Shoulder plates. I'd really want to see how these handle coloring, because the ice ones we got, I could not. They always jarringly stood out with coloring. These do look more like metallic, like they blend more in with regular Warframes than the ice ones did, but if the color gets all weird on it, I'm also wondering where the sigil goes on the shoulders. If it actually goes where you'd think in that circle, or it's gonna like land below. But yeah, that's a wait and see on the fashion front. I'll do an actual fashion frame video instead of just a short, if enough people request it, but that's that. And that pretty much wraps up Nightwave. It's a Nightwave. It's got a couple of augments. They're trying to push the Kuva, Sobek, and Tenant Galaxian. I don't know that either of those are really going to jump up into the meta. I do know the one other thing that Lazar Gaming actually clued me in when I watched a video of his. The Scattered Justice mod on the Heck now works on the Kuva Heck, which it previously didn't. As well as the augments for the Sobek work on the Kuva Sobek, in case anyone was worried about that. And I will catch all you Warframe folks on Sunday with the Baruch build video. And make sure to like, follow, subscribe if you want to see that. There's other things on the channel. We're currently revisiting Destiny 2 for a bit as well. And there's some other Let's Plays going on too. Hope you're having a good time, and we will catch you in the next one.